Welcome everyone. Welcome to episode 10, double figures. We're at finally, and I want to talk to you today about daily habits. So we've spent a couple of the last podcasts looking at things like finding our values and goal setting, and we obviously looked at our 5 keys to thrive, which you can use as part of your daily habits, part of your fitness routine. But today I want to have a little look about what we do each day, because basically if we want to kind of achieve large goals, and it's good to set large, exciting, sometimes even scary goals, then we have to look at how we can have compounding success over time to reach that goal. If we just set a massive goal and our expectation is to hit it the following day or the following week, then it's probably not that big a goal. It's probably not that scary. So we need to be making sure that each day we do something small, just like saving money in a bank account that basically has compounding interest over time that results in a really large beneficial goal for us. And that might be something long term. We might have medium and we might have short term goals, but we can do all of that through developing really good daily habits to make sure that we do something positive to move towards that goal each day. So that's what I want to talk about today. So what does your day look like at the moment? That's something that you know is a great first question for you to start asking yourself. What do you do currently each day? Do you have days where you don't really move forwards in the way you'd want? And there might be loads of different reasons for that. That's fine too. But what does your day look like at the moment? How do you structure it? Are you someone that gets up and goes with the flow? Or maybe you're someone that's kind of got a real militant agenda of when and how each minute is spent and it's all planned out perfectly. So how we structure our day can have a huge impact on productivity if we're looking to achieve our goals. And there is no one way to do this either, right? Everyone is individual and you have to find the right way because we all have different goals. So unless your goal is not to have any goals, in which case this is just the wrong podcast for you completely, let's have a look at how we can maximize our day without causing unnecessary stress. So the first thing really what we want to do is we want to find a way that we can kind of track what you want to achieve, because obviously in episode 7 we looked at new goals and sort of finding a way of goal setting, but we also want to track our progress. And again, everyone has got different kind of ways they might want to do that, but it's great to have that tracking system because one, you can see how far you are towards your goal, and you can also then use it in those times when your motivation might be a little bit sort of waning, to be able to actually look back and see how much you've achieved, or maybe, I've gone off track a little bit there and I need to get back on track to where I was at this point, and you can kind of track that success over time. So finding a way that you want to sort of track that is really important. So it might be paper, it might be that you have like a fitness planner, a journal, it might be that you use your phone or a spreadsheet, however you like to work. That's the way you want to track your progress. Think about how you want to do that. And again, it might be you want to do it daily. It might be that you want to summarize it each week. But I would suggest having maybe even something where you can scribble a little sentence down, or you can have a few tick boxes, again, depending on how you like to manage your time each day. Will help you track that progress, and that might be through weighing yourself, it might be through logging food, it might be through a little bit of journaling at the end of the day to talk about how you felt about what happened in the day and what you achieved and the successes that you had that you want to celebrate. That's entirely up to you, but think of a way that you want to sort of track and how you want to sort of achieve that tracking process. That's number one. Now, the other thing we want to do as we start to sort of plan out our day is we need to make it realistic and we need to make it balanced. If you're like me anyway, I kind of get really hyper focused on something I set my mind to. So I go, right, I really want to do this. This is my new goal. And everything seems to sort of go down that line. And where I struggle in terms of being consistent is that then what happens is I sometimes set myself unrealistic expectations about what I want to achieve and when I want to achieve it. I press a little bit too hard, and I don't kind of balance it with the rest of my life. So one thing I encourage you to do that's taken me a long time to kind of find that balance, and sometimes just have to say no and accept that it will take longer than I want it to and be patient, is to make sure that you include your work commitments into your daily plan. You make sure that you include family and friends, time with those each day. It might be other hobbies that are outside of your fitness that you love, that make you super happy, whatever that might be. You need to make sure that you're including that into those daily habits. Obviously, the exercise, which is what we're looking like, you need to make sure that's planned in there and how long you're going to be doing. And also meal times and sleep time as well, because it's about having a good quality of life. It's about having a good balance. So making sure that you obviously have your work and that's not going to suffer. Making sure that you've got time for family and friends. That's something that we all need. And your hobby times and your eating times, and making sure you're eating nutritious food and giving yourself at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep, depending on what you need. That's the recommended amount. Making sure you've got that in as well. It's all good thinking, oh, I want to be like, super productive, high flyer. I'm going to take, I'll sacrifice my sleep and do maybe 4 or 5 hours. That will catch up with you. That will eventually make you less productive. It will affect mood. It'll affect relationships. It'll affect absolutely everything in your life as you start to get more and more sleep deprived. So make sure that as you're building this daily habit plan, and you're actually including all of these aspects into it. So think about everything that you need to do each day in terms of your whole life, and make sure you're including all those into that day. So let's look at something else then. So how we start our day and our daily habits is also a really good thing to look at, because like anything, if we start our day in a sort of negative way, then that mood can kind of, as you'll know, if you wake up tired or grumpy, or if you had a bad dream, sometimes it can set your day up where you just feel bad for most of the day. Your energy's low. You don't feel like you can kind of pick that energy up, and it can feel sometimes tough. So trying to start your day with something that makes you feel great, which puts you into a kind of higher state of energy, let's say, is a really good thing to do. So have a think about what that might be. Again, for some, it's different for everyone. Some people like a cold shower. Some people might want to do some yoga or some breathing. Some people want a coffee and go for a run. Everyone's different. Some people might want to do a crossword or a quiz, or spend time, with their kids, whatever that might be. Make sure you start your day with something that makes you feel, great, full of energy, because that energy you can then take straight across into the rest of your day, your working life, the daily habits that we're talking about today. So think about that as well, rather than just getting up, maybe just looking at your phone, scrolling through, or going straight to emails, or something that's going to sort of lower your sort of state of energy. Think about something that's going to set you into a higher state of energy. It's going to make you feel great, not necessarily for the whole of the day, but it's something that's going to give you some momentum. It's going to kickstart your day where you feel full of energy and ready to go, because that will have a huge impact on that productivity in the morning. So we're thinking about that at the start of the day. So it's a good opportunity then in the middle of the day just to take 5 or 10 minutes again, just to sort of reflect on what state you're in by the time you get to lunchtime, your sort of mental state. So if you started in a higher state as you've gone through the day, has that waned, or has the momentum stayed high? Again, if it stayed high, then you probably don't need to do anything about it. You're just feeling it, you're in the flow and you're getting stuff done. That's awesome. We all have days like that where we just feel, wow, that's a super productive day. I really enjoyed that. But we all have definitely had days where you get to lunchtime and you're starting to sort of feel that drop in energy. You're starting to feel less motivated. So that means you need to change something immediately. And one of the best things to do is just change your physical state to start with. That might be just go for a quick walk. That might be jump up and down a bit. Have a little dance in the kitchen, whatever it requires. The rebounders, people love rebounders, just jumping up and down on a sort of little trampoline. But do something that's going to then pick that state back up again, rather than just letting that state change and thinking it'll fix itself, which it probably won't. So when you get to midday, carve out 5 minutes just to kind of reflect on your mental state, what kind of energy level you're at. And then if you're at a low energy state, then do something to change it. If you're at a high energy state, crack on and keep going. Have your lunch, make sure you're obviously fueling your mind and your body and drinking lots of water. But yeah, you don't need to change your state. That's awesome. But if you do something about it there. Don't let it go, because otherwise you're going to carry that lower energy into the rest of your day. And then again, we've talked about the start, the middle of the day. What do we do at the end of the day? So finishing the day is just as important as the start of the day. you can have a really productive end of your day as well. And that doesn't mean you're still working, up until midnight. What I mean is you're actually giving yourself then time to unwind before you go to bed. Again, trying to get that 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which will maximize your rest and recovery. So, for example, you're someone that struggles to get to sleep. And what is the reason for that? Is it because you're on your sort of screens, on your devices? Are you watching telly until the moment you go to bed, or you're on your phone in bed? Are you exercising really heavily late at night, which can also help affect how well you get to sleep, how quickly you get to sleep. So if you want to exercise later, if you're that sort of person, then you're better off doing a lower intensity exercise at that point. Are you drinking loads of coffee right through the day, and it's actually the coffee that's affecting you? A lot of people go, I can still get to sleep on coffee, but it's not necessarily about getting to sleep. It's also about the quality of the sleep that you get and the fact you're going through all of the correct cycles when you drink coffee. Coffee has got a half-life, which means at midday, if you drink coffee, you can still have it in your system at midnight, and that might stop you sleeping as well. So making sure that you have, again, that's entirely up to you. I'm not telling you what you should do, but I'm just saying, asking you to consider what you can do before bed. How do you unwind? What do you do to maximize that kind of time before you go to sleep, to make sure that when you go to sleep, you have the best rest and recovery? Are you setting up for success in terms of rest and recovery as well? So that's sort of a way of sort of thinking just about general structuring of the day, starting, middle and end of the day, and how you can kind of maximize the best parts of that. Another thing is, let's look at the day as a whole. So what does the whole of your day look? What's the kind of general theme of your day? Now, in the last episode 9, we talked about sort of finding and kind of using your values. So another good question to ask yourself at the start and at the end of the day is, are the things that you're doing, are those habits, those daily habits, things that are basically value-led? Are they driving you towards your why? Are they driving you towards your goals, the things that you want from life in the future, whether that's short, medium or long term? We can all be kind of what you think of like busy idiots. You're cracking on, you feel like you're being really productive, but they're taking you in the right direction, because if they're not taking you in the right direction, then that's something to assess, because you're not going to end up in, at the end where you want to be, at that destination that you want. You might end up somewhere else. So does your day actually reflect your values? Does it reflect your goals? Does it reflect the things that you want from life? And are those daily habits taking you towards that? Are they stagnating you, or are they taking you away from that? That's something that's worth reflecting on all the time, because your values are like your compass, and your goals are kind of like your end point. So that those two combined can be a really useful way of assessing that. So make sure you're doing that. It's a good daily habit to do, just to reflect, did today take me in the right direction? Did it take me away from where I want to be, or did it take me towards it? Something else to think of when you're starting the day is, when you wake up, are you actually looking forward to the day ahead? So do you wake up each morning going, excited, I've got this to do and I've got that to do, and this is going to be, I'm going to enjoy doing this, and it's something that is, again, taking me towards where I want to be. I can see the end, and my today, what I'm going to be doing is going to be doing that. We might, if we have something super excited, a night out with friends or a concert or a holiday or something, we wake up excited. Now, I'm not saying that every morning you're going to wake up super excited. There's going to be times when you're not, and you've just got to do stuff you don't want to do and all the rest of it. But can you put something into most days that means that you wake up looking forward to the day ahead? Because again, that's all about a start of the day, that energy we talked about, that higher state of energy, that's going to mean you're more productive. So make sure you've got something in your day that you're looking forward to. And ideally, again, that might be, we can't all have jobs and stuff we love, but ideally it'd be something you're waking up going, the work I'm doing today, the people I'm spending time with today, the value that I'm going to be adding to other people today is exciting. exciting, and it makes me feel good. So that's something, again, if you're not waking up each day looking forward to it, there's something to assess there. I wonder why. Is it an emotional state thing? Is it my daily habits? Are my habits bad when I start the day? Am I doing things that aren't good for my life? Or am I spending time with people that aren't good for my life? Is the job I'm in, good for my life? Does it meet my values? If not, that's something we can always reflect on, isn't it? And see if that's something that maybe we want to look at changing in the future. So waking up and looking forward to something is always good. And I always try to find something in the day that I'm going to look forward to. And in fact, I always write down in the week, once a week, what I'm looking forward to, something exciting that I put into my week to look forward to. This Thursday, I'm heading out to a charity ball for the Atlantic Grappler campaign, and I'm going to a business development day as well in Leeds. So I'm really looking forward to both of those. And I was super excited about doing the podcast today. So I'm trying to always think about something that makes me get up and get excited about the day ahead. Now, again, with daily habits, do you find it hard to make time for what you need each day? And again, that's about really assessing what you get up to each day, getting rid of the stuff that isn't useful to you, or trying to strip it back so you only have to do the bare essentials of the stuff that isn't as useful to you, or you don't enjoy as much, and trying to find the time to actually make sure that you're bringing in these good habits. We can all say, oh, I'm so busy and I've got kids and I'm tired when I get home and I don't have time for exercise. But again, let's look at the logic of that. Scientific research shows that if you exercise, you get more energy. So if you made 5, 10 minutes or 20 or even better 30 minutes for exercise each day, and you really carved that out and made it a non-negotiable, you would have more energy. That energy obviously will then compound, and that will bring more quality into your life because you'll have more energy for work, you'll have more energy for family. So it's not making those excuses and doing a kind of making sacrifices either for other people or taking an easy option, making sure that you include all those things we talked about: work, family, friends, hobbies, exercise, good meal times and sleep. They all need to be things that you sort of make time for each day. It's really important that you do that, and you can do that by just planning out your day. And again, it doesn't need to be like a sort of militant, calendar of at this moment we do this and we do that. But it's great to have an idea about what you want to achieve each day. So when you can review at the start of the day, these are the things that I need to get done, and you make sure you get those things done. You might be someone that wants to box off the worst stuff at the start, what you include as bad, or you might want to do the fun stuff at the start. Whichever way, making sure that you know what you need to do each day. Just like going into a business meeting. I'm sure most of you have had some sort of meeting where you're sitting there thinking, wow, there's no direction here. This is just a waste of time. I could have just cracked on and done what I need to do. Now, someone who sets a meeting that's good at setting a meeting, they start the meeting with, I would like to start, this is the agenda. This is what I would like to get from the meeting. This is what we hopefully as a team, the people in this room, will be able to get from this meeting. And you should be asking that from every single day, every single week. What can you get out of that day? We only have so many days. So what can you get out of that day that's going to give value to you, and it's going to give value to the people around you? And you can only do that if you set these, these things each day, and these non-negotiables, these daily habits that are positively going to move you forwards. Have a think about that, how you plan your day, what you put into your day, making sure that is balanced, making sure that you break the day down into the start, the middle, and the end. Does it reflect your values? Are you moving in the right direction each day? Awesome. Okay, so remember that doing something little but often is a better way of building positive daily habits rather than a big session every now and then. So we don't want to just go, just do loads of stuff on one day and it'll be super productive, because then that you're not building regular habits. It's less likely you're going to stick to those things. Again, that's just like relying on a motivating day where you just do a massive gym session or something and then that's it. You're better off doing lots of little things each day. So it's better to do 15 or 20 minutes each day than a 3-hour session, or just in one day. So because we're looking at building habits regularly, and building habits means doing things consistently over time. So make the habits realistic, make them achievable each day to keep you motivated. If you're just setting crazy habits that aren't possible, you're just going to get demotivated. You're going to be like, oh, I failed, I haven't done it. So make them realistic, make them achievable. It's about that SMART goal setting again. That'll keep you motivated, and very quickly the momentum will build and you'll start seeing results. If you just stick at those habits, just keep going, you'll see those results. You'll look back and go, wow, I can't believe how far I've come. At the end of the day, we have a limited time on this earth, so ensuring we spend it the best we can seems like something to me that we should prioritize. Whatever way we kind of choose to do that, we should make sure we prioritize that with the time we've got and make it more effective. So remember, set up your day for success. All the momentum is built on repetitive positive energy. So repeating the positive daily habits will give you more and more momentum, and you'll start to see more and more results, and build those habits that will power you to your goals. So if we build them, then that's going to mean that it just drives us forwards, and achieving your goal is inevitable at that point. So remember, don't just survive when you have the power to thrive. Thanks for listening.